All right, hey guys, I guess that's how we're starting it off today. We're gonna be making a recipe out of this contest-winning annual recipes from 2005. Relocate to where we're gonna be doing some frosted fudge brownies tonight. I think I'm gonna add a little bit of chocolate chips into it. I was gonna be doing glazed chocolate chip brownies, but realized I didn't have enough butter. So that's why we never fully start a recipe beforehand. You just kind of need to make sure you have your butter. It's gonna be 1 cup of butter plus 3 tablespoons. You're gonna have it melted down. I tried to previously do those ones, so my butter is already melted. That's how I found out I didn't have enough with 5 cups of butter all together. So we have the rest of the butter that we'll need kind of in the fridge or the freezer to kind of harden up again, because we don't want melted for this frosting part. We want it softened. So we have, as I said, we've already got the butter melted. We put it in a saucepan. You're also going to add to this 3/4 cup of cocoa powder. So we want 3 1/4 cups. Anything baking cocoa or chocolate. You want to be sure not to get it everywhere, especially if you have a furry pet. You don't need them being curious. So we want to get 3/4 cups of this. And I kind of just push it down with my finger too to make sure it's an even full one, so that way it's not like half full. Just in case if we need it again, we don't want it full of cocoa powder. So we're gonna set this to the side because we are going to need it again for the frosting. I'm gonna kind of mix the butter and the cocoa together. You just want to make sure it's all stirred in here. It might be a tad bit easier to get stirred in there, yeah. And a whisk will help and break down all those lumps.
Make it all smooth in here. So press it out to the side.
Let it cool down a little bit. We want 4 eggs. In your mixing bowl, your eggs and sugar.
All 4 eggs in here. Eggs are going to go right into this. Shells, get right there. You don't want anything because you won't find it. Eat our brownies.
Okay, so then we're gonna need some sugar. No, it'll be 2 cups of sugar.
You want to take sugar?
And the eggs together. Got 1 cup. And 2 cups. Again, I like to try to make sure it's even. We don't want extras really. So that'll be all for this sugar. So we can go ahead and just get it right out of our way. Stick it back up wherever you keep it. I'm gonna kind of move this a little closer. I don't have that whisk right now. Do I have? So and get this all mixed together. What?
This is Forza Horizon 5, bro.
Sorry, thought my husband was talking to me, guys. You just also want to make sure it's not sticking to the side. So once you have it all mixed together, it'll kind of look like a lemon custard in a way. Yellow, slightly thick. And then sorry guys, I'm just trying to make sure I'm reading it correctly. You're gonna set this to the side. You're gonna grab another dish. If I knew where my big bowl was, my other big bowl was, that would be great. So we're gonna go ahead and use this. So in this, we're gonna mix together our flour, baking powder, and salt. So we're just gonna go ahead and get those three in front of us. Again, you wanna make sure you're grabbing the flour. I think that one's flour. And just sniff this one real quick. I can't tell. That's fine. So then that one's perfect. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so this, we're gonna set it up so real quick. We are going to need 1.5 cups of flour. I put the lid on. There we go. So we've got, we want to make sure, especially with flour, that it is even, the correct amount. Alright. Again, we want 1.5 cups of flour. So just kind of evenly get it across. So here's 1 cup. Now where is my half cup? My half cup is a little broken. I need some more. So there's our flour. 1.5 cups of flour, and we're gonna go ahead and think that's all we're going to need it for. Yes, so we're gonna go ahead and just get this right out of the way. Find it easier to put things up as we go. 1 teaspoon baking powder. 1 teaspoon. You got something in it, just wipe it out. And then, same with the baking powder, you just want to make sure it's even. Which is why I kind of like with the baking powders come with a little lip on them. So we got the baking powder in there. We're not going to need this anymore either, so just get it out of the way. Then we're going to need some salt. Where did I put my salt? Right in front of me. 1 teaspoon of this. And you never want to overdo it with salt. So kind of like measure it out over a sink or something so that way the extra doesn't flow into there. You don't want a whole lot of salt. You're gonna just combine these all together. And so once that's all mixed together, and I'll mix together more too as you pour it into here, you're gonna slowly and gradually add while you're stirring. You want to make sure it's all combined well. And as it gets combining, it's gonna start to get a little tough. You just want to scrape the bottoms as well, make sure that it's all getting up there. So now that you have all that in there, it should start looking like this. Once it's all combined, you're gonna want to take a teaspoon of vanilla, and again, I usually measure it over something because it's easy to over pour. Thankfully, I went out and bought more vanilla extract the other day. Thought ahead. You're gonna stir that in. And you're also, at this point, you can grab your whisk if you use it, because we're gonna go ahead and add the chocolate. At this point, I do have, it's got flour all over it somehow. This to help get the sides. So we're just gonna go ahead and dump that right on in. And at this point, you do want to get your oven on. We're gonna get it set to 350. It won't take too long for it to warm up. You just want to make sure all of this chocolate is coming out of this paper. Alright, I think that's as good as we're getting it here. So we're gonna just set this aside in case, and now you're gonna get that all mixed in together and try not to make a mess. Set something right there for right now. And you're just gonna get this all mixed in. You also want to take your rubber scraper and go ahead and scrape the sides occasionally, so that way nothing's getting left
Come back down.
behind. And you also want to scrape at the sides too. It can be hard to get with the whisk.
Yeah, they're racing.
So you just want to make sure to get it all mixed good. Because at this point, this is now your brownie mixture. This is the homemade brownie. So we want to make sure everything's properly mixed together. There's no lumps, clumps, and nothing is left behind. So after this, it's going to go into our baking pan and go into the oven. And then we will be working on the frosting from there. So this looks pretty good. Get as much off this whisk as you possibly can. No brownie left behind. You're probably gonna be a little bit chocolatey, and it's okay. Just gonna take a little bit of this. This is the pan we're using tonight. I always go for the glass pans. The metal ones, I find it sticks a little bit too much. So you're just gonna kind of spray, making sure to get the sides and the bottom pretty well. So that way it just kind of has like a little layer to it. From here, definitely recommend your spatula and just pour it on in. Or wait, hold on. Actually, that is correct. Looking at them now, I did want to add a little bit of chocolate chips. I always use the Toll House.
Oh, I messed up.
These are semi-sweet. So we're just gonna add a little bit into here, a couple of shakes and shimmies. And then of course, there we go. We're just gonna get it all nice and poured in here. Get as much as you want or can out of it. So, oops. One moment. I actually got chocolate over here, so I need to get that cleaned up. Because again, we got the furry ones here. So, now, your batter should look like this. We're gonna just pop a couple more on the top. Not too much, but you know, just enough. So afterwards, it really should look like this, especially if you decide to put the chocolate chips in. Not required whatsoever. I just love chocolate chips. So then now you're just gonna get this set in. If you're not fighting for your life with the door, like I just was. So now that that's cooking, it's gonna be in there for about 25 to 28 minutes. So Ziggy, set a timer for 25 minutes.
25 minutes, starting now.
We're gonna have it start off at 25 minutes. Then go in once it's off, check and see what it's looking like. We are probably gonna wait until about 10-15 minutes before the brownies are done to start working on the frosting. We don't want it to sit for too long, get hardened, and not really work as well. So let those cook for 25 minutes and then we'll be back to do the frosting. We've got the brownies, they're done. I did them for about 30 minutes. I made some holes to check and see. These are perfect. So we have them setting on a little rack over here to cool down. We're gonna go ahead and get this frosting started. With the frosting, you're gonna be taking some butter. You want 6 tablespoons of it. You want to make sure it's kind of soft. Just melt it a little bit.
Oh, I did that really wrong. Man. Alright guys, let's roll these up. Catch y'all next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this if you did.
Alright, so we got our butter in there. Then we're going to take your sugar. So we want 2 2/3 cups of confectioner sugar. Again, even it out. Really cannot wait to try these. It smells amazing. So we got 1. And here is 2. One moment, because I never remember how to do so. So we want 2/3 cups. So we're going to do it's like 1/3 cup. Those are 2 portions. Okay, so I see now. I see a better way. So you're gonna take 2 1/4. And then 8 teaspoons. Seven and 8. So we're gonna go ahead and just get this right out of the way. We'll put it over here. And then we're gonna need 1 teaspoon 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Let's see. 1 teaspoon of this. And then we are going to need a 1/2 cup of baking cocoa. Let's get some water in it. Let's get that out. And again, especially with baking cocoa, we're just gonna come over to here real quick and measure it out. Sometimes it's a little bit chunked. Now we got 1/2 cup. We're gonna throw it into the mixture. Now this part, the milk. Let's see. For the milk, it calls for a 1/4 cup to 1/3 cup. You basically want to have enough in here to have it achieve the consistency to be able to spread. So we're just going to quickly mix together the butter, flour, powder, and vanilla. Kind of get that going. You just want to make sure it all mixes in with that butter. So it'll kind of be chunky. And that's okay, that's really how it's supposed to be, I guess. Yeah. But you want to make sure that it is all mixed in and together the best you can. Because at this point it's like a fudge frosting, which is what we want. So we're just gonna fill up the measuring cup to 1/3 and kind of slowly add it in.
Do you need me to taste test anything?
Not yet, no.
Oh, shucks.
I mean, here you can try this. It's the frosting. Comes out here, asks me a taste tester, then says no. You just want to make sure it's all mixed together. No lumps. And slowly getting there. As you can see, there's still some clumps. And we really don't want any clumps or anything, so frosting does taste pretty good though, guys. I'm just gonna real quick. Grab the whisk part for my blender. I'm not going to use the blender. I'm just borrowing the whisk. Maybe. We'll see how it does if I do it that way. Maybe it'll get it a little better than I can. So we don't really want... We don't really want lumpy frosting on our brownies. So we want to kind of get it mixed and smooth as fudge. Now that's pretty good mixing consistency. So we don't want it to be too thick, but not too runny. We do want to make sure that the batter is nice and cool before adding, and it's still kind of warm. So we just want to keep it cooled down. Once it's cooled, add the frosting to it. Probably stick it in the fridge for a few to help everything kind of combine and not be runny, but should be pretty good. I'm impatient. I'm gonna go ahead and put the frosting on the brownie batter now, and then we'll go ahead and get it ready. So, that's too logical. What's it called? I'm just gonna kind of get it poured over it. I like it a little runny because it is like seeping down into it, which is good. So then let me just bring you guys over to here. This is what it will look like in the end. I am going to let it cool for longer. Once it's cooled, I will be sure to take a picture of it and give you guys a review. I really can't wait to try this. Altogether, it took about an hour-ish to do. If you like this, let me know what else kind of desserts I could potentially make. And I hope you have a great night. Gourmet Galaxy signing off.